Good morning and welcome to my garden. Good morning to my garden on this frosty August morning. Let's have a walk around and see how we're going here. My sugar snap peas are all done. It's time to pull them out. Almost. I'm waiting till the plant dies off properly so that I can harvest some of these pods for seeds. It looks like some of the pods are cracking open, so maybe I should harvest them sooner rather than later. My calendula has been looking lovely, and it's interesting also, this capsicum plant, which has been looking so poorly with its leaves so sad. I was regularly giving it worm tea, and now planted with this calendula and this thick layer of sugarcane mulch, it keeps bearing. They're only tiny, but it does keep bearing capsicums. This tomato was a volunteer, and I'm pleased to say it looks like it's not a cherry. Spring onions. I've got various forms of shallots here. So these are French echelons. They're the long ones, also called banana shallots. These were the red ones, and these have grown really well. And these ones were the clumping onion, also known as potato onions. These carrots I'm keeping here for seed, and they're looking quite happy. They're doing really well now that I've put all the mulch around them. Contour 1 on the south. The chilli are perennial plants, and they're still growing. They're producing a few chilies, but they're not growing large. When they stop producing, I will prune them back and give them a more compact shape. I've planted some yacon here, and here. My broad beans that I planted over here that were doing very terribly have seemed to pick up quite a lot since I put mulch around them. Now they're only small, and they're probably due for harvest in a month or so. But this is my first ever growing of broad beans, so it's still a learning curve for me. I'm discovering what happens when you plant broad beans and how it responds to how you treat it. Down the back of Contour 1, I have the plants I've planted for chop and drop. You see, the pigeon pea was planted a long time after any of these other plants, and it's growing up quite nice now. We've got some flowers on it, very pretty flowers, and they will provide more mulch for my chop and drop row. Papayas are looking a bit sad. They've still got fruit on them. I think they need more water than they're getting, but I don't have the time to give them water as much as I'd like. I do intend to put a drip water system at the front here. Nectarine lost all its leaves for winter. I'm sure it'll come back with shoots in spring. Apricot, still got some leaves on it. Volunteer tomatoes. Actually, no, these were planted. Good sized fruit on it, and it's the first large tomato that I've had that's actually produced fruit that wasn't bug eaten. And as I say that, I find another one that's bug eaten. But I did pick another one yesterday that was larger than this and didn't have its passenger bug in it. This one will go to the chooks. Another apricot, still with some leaves on it. Contour 2 on the south. I've got two different varieties of asparagus here, and I'm just wondering, these are growing a lot straighter than these. So there's two reasons that might be happening. One reason could be because some of the asparagus was grown as seedlings, and some of them were grown from crowns. So I'm hypothesizing that these ones down this end were grown from crowns because they're a lot messier, whereas these 1, 2, 3 were grown from seedlings. So I'm keen to see which one's which. One's a burgundy one and one is a green. I'm keen to see which one they are because they were moved after I planted them in another bed. Just planted some rhubarb here and here, and another rhubarb coming up. My bananas at the back of this row are doing quite well. My windbreak row is starting to grow again. Some some sugar cane and some arrowroot. And my chook's pen. Hello, chookies. Would you like a tomato? Here, look. It's even got a bug in it. Really? What do you reckon, big boy? What if I squeeze it? Oh, what about that? Is it good? That better? No, they'll play with that. They'll work that out later. They're probably not... Oh, there you go. They're probably not real keen on it because they've just had a big feed of spent broccoli there this morning. And welcome to our new shed. It was just finished last week. It's going to be very exciting to keep things in there and to be able to access them so close to the garden. We've got a tank coming for that side. My central bed here, I'm picking limes at the moment. I had shelling peas along here, blue bantam, and they got a very severe case of sooty mildew. I will harvest the pods for seed, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get many from it because it was such a heavy attack of sooty mildew. Lots of new leaves on my lemon tree and flowers. Lots of lovely flowers in here. My blueberry plants getting ready for the new season of fruit. Lots of flowers coming. Contour 1 on the north. Kale, carrot, spring onion, parsnip, leek. On the back we've got some kipfler potatoes there. I noticed that the kipfler potatoes are a lighter colour leaf than these ones, which were a red potato, a Desiree. I'm curious to see whether that's a nutrition thing or just a different variety. And the shape of the leaf's a little bit different too. Sugarloaf cabbage ready to harvest. I've planted more potatoes in here. A new variety that I've discovered called Royal Blue along here. And here I'm doing an experiment with potatoes where one row was soaked in sea salt and worm tea before it was planted, and the next row is not. So we'll see how those go, see how that experiment goes. Dutch cream potatoes with some more Desiree planted here. Some more peas. They don't seem to like hanging on to this trellis. I think I'm going to have to work out a better trellis. These are Sebago potatoes. Looks like the flowers are starting to come, which means they might be coming close to time to harvest. Already harvested some from here and boy, they were delicious. Planted some carrots and some climbing beans here. Contour 2. This is my chop and drop row along the back. I've already had flower from my tibouchina. It's a lovely purple flower and there are some more coming. I love flowers in the garden. I love the way they make everything seem bright and happy. The promise of new life. The reminder of all the good things in amidst the work. This is an azalea. And we've already had a flower from that one too. The buddleia is flowering. Looks like the flowers are died. I wonder if there's any viable seed in that. Pigeon pea, gordonia, phebalium, camellia. The other side of Contour 2, this is the veggie garden that I'm most proud of at the moment. We've got snow peas, a variety of tomato that I saved the seed from, and I chose that one. That one didn't volunteer. The thyme and the oregano that I planted along the edge is doing really well. It's looking happy. Lettuces are great. English spinach, spring onions. No, these are white onions. Carrots, kohl rabi, looking very healthy. Purple pack choi, broad beans. So this is the second crop of broad beans I've planted, and this crop is doing so well. So many flowers on them. Broad beans grow really heavy on the top with the seed pods on the top. So I have had to string them up in a grid fashion. That was fun to do late one evening as the sun was going down and I was trying not to step on the plants. I was very excited to have some parsley come up. This seed I saved from 4 years ago. And I didn't know if it was going to come up, but it has, so that's exciting. Silver beet, carrot, shallots, and some red cabbage. This is a mini red cabbage. I actually think This one is ready to pick. So that'll be great. I've got some red and green cabbage ready to go. That makes a great coleslaw. Contour 3. I've got fig plants planted in here and they've shut down for the winter, but I have new shoots coming on them. Cover crop at the front. Mixed cover crop has lots of different varieties in it and it will be doing lots of good things for the soil. Cover crop on this end of contour 3 as well. Coffee plant's not doing so well. I think it needs more protection than it gets here. Apples, bit of a success story. These apples were very sorely attacked by aphids, but they seem to have come back. They seem to have survived the aphid attack very happily, just by being treated with worm tea. Maybe there was some sea salt in it, but they're doing really well. And my pomegranate is covered in new shoots and one very healthy looking flower. So that's my garden. Thanks for coming on a tour with me. I really enjoy sharing my garden with other people. I love inspiring them to see that there's a lot that they can do too. You don't have to know everything to get produce. You just need to have a go and remember that the Creator's still involved with his world and he'll make things grow. We just got to give it the opportunity.